Little garden update there. We always grow green beans, so we have grown llamas, but not all the time. And the llamas on this bird netting don't seem to hook on as well. Some of them are finally hooking on, but we've had to interlace them to get it to work. And the peppers are getting taller, and I need to put some little stakes in and start tying them up because they're real brittle, and the slightest little whack and they'll just split. The okra all up, there's a couple little runts in there, but they're growing. The cucumbers are doing pretty good. Tomatoes are doing exceptional. And the squash are coming up. They're starting to set flowers. And here is this volunteer. People watch my channel down up by that post was a little cucumber growing from last year. And so I planted it here, and this little wire cage isn't going to be big enough for this boy this year. And you can see it's got cukes on it. And it's going to take over this cage. Now, these tomatoes have been in the ground 28 days. You can see the flowers on them. That's the one I talked about before. 28 days ago, it was all the way down here. It was just underneath of that. And that pole is about 7 feet tall. It's 8 foot and it's in the ground about a foot. It's about just over maybe 6.5 feet tall. And we're tying them up and tying them up and tying them up because all these sucker shoots are really getting robust. Well, I preach to everybody to cut off the lower branches on your tomato plants. Get back here on the angle. See how you can see daylight under all these plants? Well, we've been so busy, it's been hard for me to take the time to cut them off. And our plants were small when we put them in, so it was hard to cut the lower leaves off. So I finally got around to it today, and I cut off everything that's got any disease on the leaf. It's always on the lower ones near the surface, and if you've had a lot of rain, that's where the disease comes from. And while we're talking about it, these butter boys are setting a lot of fruit in clusters of 6, which is really nice. And I was in here personally looking at them when I was cleaning off the bad stuff on the bottom, but there are a bunch of clusters. Look at that. I had to take the nylon tie off of this because it's just so many here in 2 little clusters that they wouldn't be able to push aside everything when they ripened. And that's the cherry we're going to pick today that we've been talking about. And there's 3 more there turning, and in another week or 2 we'll be up to our ears in them. And this is at my head height. That's 5'11", and that's the one we've been talking about, and that's a 7-foot pole, and it's within 6 inches of it. And I got a lot of suckers growing up here instead of one stem. See all these? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 producing tomatoes. That one right there, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That one's got 6. That one's got too many to count. That's where you get all the production from. Each stem puts out all those tomatoes. You keep cutting the suckers off and you'll get less tomatoes. Well, I haven't been putting many videos up, but I've taken a lot of videos and we'll try to combine these. This is a garden update on the 24th of July, and that's our lima beans. Our peppers are setting peppers. They're getting a little size to them. I got to water these. You can see the leaves are drooping. The okra finally started to grow. The cucumbers have gone absolutely wild. We've got a lot of pollinators. We've been cutting this, we have some clover, and I've been cutting it high setting on the mower. You can see a little bee working it, and that helps bring them in here. The 4th of Julys are over the 7-foot poles, and they're loaded with fruit. You can see it. The better boys are coming along. We really haven't had a lot of rain. You can see a little one in there ripening. We got these are 4th of Julys. These are the other cucumbers we have, and we've got a lot of pollinators. Last year we didn't have many pollinators, but see, you can see them working in here. And I think there are more pollinators, plus I think leaving this clover around here, if it'll rain, this clover will pop back. And I think it brings them in here. We are picking squash. We've picked about 6 so far. That plant is still producing. And I've been doing videos on these grapevines reaching the wire every few days, and I'm going to put that out as a total group of how to get grapevines to the wire. And see, this one's already going down each side, this one's going down each side, this one's trying to go to the wire. I still got to put a wire up for that in the frame. And this one, see, it's got one going each way. Apples, which we'll harvest in October, are still here. The squirrels have left them alone so far. There's not a lot of squirrels, but you can see there's some decent apples in here to be picked in October. All in all, it's been a pretty good season. We just need a little rain, and there's none really forecast for the next 4 or 5 days.